I just want to go back to that classic fight between Claressa Shields and Savannah Marshall. I think it was just what the sport needed after what was a tumultuous few weeks, right?
Yeah, it was an unbelievable, well, a fantastic bill. If I'm being
Mm.
honest, I think that the chief support in Michaela Mayer and Baumgardner was a unbelievable fight as well. Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall, it was special. It was a special night for females boxing. Clarissa Shields looked exceptional, brilliant defensively, brilliant off the ropes. Combination punching was great. Savannah Marshall had her moments in the fight as well, but had a bit of a slow start, and I think that ultimately was the downfall for her. But Clarissa Shields was it was a kind of, we talk about all these adverts for female boxing, but that was just an advert for boxing. It was an unbelievable performance.
Talk me through, because I know you've got experience actually sparring some of the female fighters, and I want to talk about that in terms of the improvements to have you, obviously a two-time world champion sparring these girls. The levels must be incredibly high.
Yeah, I used to do a lot of sparring with Katie Taylor when I was an amateur, actually, on the high performance team, and she would have sparred a lot of the guys in and around, you know, featherweight, bantamweight, lightweight, um, and it was always like she was so fast. Like her hand speed was unbelievable. And the only time I would have success with Katie is when I kind of lay on her and using the strength and pushed her back. I was a bit stronger than her. But if I stood off her and tried to have a boxing match with her, I used to get the head punched off me, really. So yeah, she was brilliant and a lovely girl. So dedicated to the sport, and probably, obviously there's been women before her, but in terms of what it's doing in the Olympics and the Olympic sport that it is, Katie Taylor probably should take most of the responsibility of getting female boxing into the Olympics. So in that sense, she's a hero to so many people. I've done a bit of sparring with Chantel Cameron as well, who's a different type of fighter than Katie, but in and around the same weight division, and a fight between them two could materialize at some point. And she's not as fast as Katie, but stronger than Katie and punches harder. Um, but both fantastic fighters, and yeah, it was nice to do a wee bit of work with them.
Now, how big can women's boxing get? Because it seems to be we've got all women world title fight bills going on. They're selling out stadiums. We had Madison Square Garden. We've got the Cop We've got the O2. How big can it get?
It can be huge. It's still, if you look at where it was at 20 years ago, it was nowhere really. And you'd girls like Layla Ali and Jane Couch and names that are recognizable now, but um, 20 years ago it was nowhere. No one really cared about it. 5 years ago it was all right, popular enough. But in terms of what's going on today with Katie and Chantel and Savannah and Clarissa and Nickel Adams before them, Terry Harper, the names kind of just roll off your tongue these days. And it's growing and growing, and I think it will continue to grow. There's been talk about obviously changing it to 3-minute rounds, and I was kind of an advocate of that and thinking, maybe it should be 10 3-minute rounds, but I'm not so sure now. I think why
Yeah.
one of the reasons why the women's fights are so good and so exciting to watch is because they're so
Yeah.
quick and they're 2-minute rounds. So rather than 10 threes, what about 12 twos? Something like that maybe. But you know, I'm I'm a fan. I'm a fan of some of the top women in the world. But one of the issues I have at the minute is strength and depth. But that's going to, you've got very good ones and some kind of not so good. But that's going to kind of, that'll sort itself out. It just takes a wee bit of time. But it's flying at the minute, absolutely flying, and will continue to fly for, years and years.